Charity had just left the telephone booth when she heard the explosion. For a moment, she didn't believe it was real. Then she heard the fire station siren down the street go into action.
Whoa, man! Did you hear that? Hot, hot, hot!
Boy, Jane's still not home.
Come on, you guys, let's go see the fire.
Rick, don't you care that something might have happened to Jane?
Whoa, right. Maybe it's her house that's on fire. It's in the right direction.
It's in the right direction, but it's not Jane's house.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go check it out. Come on. We'll go in my car.
Okay.
Dade Walken's big Chevy roared through the dark streets of Point Harbor. Beside him, Jane sat tensely. The hospital had disappeared into the night behind them. Now they were following the flickering light of the fire on the horizon. Whatever it was, it couldn't be any worse than what had just happened. As Dade turned down a tree-lined street, apprehension gripped them both. Cindy lived at the end of that street. And Dorian. Yes, Jane suddenly realized. This could be worse. Much, much worse.
Get those people back there! Get back there behind the line!
A fire in Point Harbor was a big event, but a fire in the rich section of town was ranked public entertainment. The public was already there, pulling up in its cars, leaning out of windows, standing on roofs to see the show. Dade found a clear space at the side of the street and pulled in.
Come on, Jane.
Look, Dade. It's the garage that's on fire. Just the garage.
But just the garage was enough. Burning like the fires from some Bible thumper sermon lighting up the sky. The firefighters worked frantically, trying to keep it from spreading to the house.
Jane?
Jeremy, what are you doing here?
We were at the burger bar when we heard the explosion. I called your house, but you weren't home.
We were worried. Where were you?
I was with Dade. Georgina's dead.
She's what? She's dead. We just came from the hospital.
They found her out on the point tonight.
At the point? Georgie? Like Will?
Yeah, at least that's what they say.
The five friends stared at one another. Beyond them, the front door of the house suddenly opened, and a fireman appeared with his arm around Cindy.
Cindy! Over here!
The fireman escorted Cindy towards them. She was crying. No one had ever seen Cindy cry before. As they moved across the well-manicured lawn, another fireman stepped towards them.
Is that everybody? Nobody else in the house? Can't tell, Chief. We got all the servants out. This is the daughter. The parents are out for the evening, but the son still isn't accounted for.
Dorian? Oh, my God, Dorian!
Stay here, miss. I'll send the parents.
Dorian, what have I done? Cindy, I killed my own brother, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
In the cozy den in Jane's house, the fire burned tamely in the grate. Cindy held a mug of hot milk in her hands. The paramedic had given her something to calm her. She'd stopped crying. Now she just stared down at nothing. They were waiting for her parents to be located and told the news.
Cindy, it's not your fault.
You don't know the whole story. Dorian and I hated each other. We used to do awful things. One day we were playing hide and seek. I was 5. I hid in a cedar chest in the attic, and Dorian found me. Only instead of letting me out, he locked the trunk. I don't know how long I was there, hours. It was dark when they found me. I thought I was going to die there. After that, I knew nothing would ever scare me again. And nothing was going to stop me from getting even with my brother.
Cindy.
Let me finish. I waited. I told Dorian I wanted to play hide and seek again. Pretended I really believed that the trunk had locked by accident. He hid in a closet. I think he thought he would jump out and really scare me, but I locked the door on him. And then I found some matches. I set fire to a wastebasket in the room. Dorian smelled the smoke. He was terrified. He begged me to let him out, just like I begged him. We have a very good security system in our house. The fire department's connected directly to it, so they got there in time. I told them where he was. I was crying. I got into a lot of trouble for playing with matches. I was always bad after that. A bad girl. And Dorian was always very, very good.
It's okay, Cindy.
No, it's not okay. Because Dorian was in the garage tonight.
In the garage?
Uh-huh.
No. How can you be sure?
It's where he went when I left him. He was there with his car. I think he'd been with Georgie. I think now whatever was after Georgie was after him. I think something is out there, and it's going to get us all.
Cindy, that's crazy. What you're saying is crazy.
No, she's right, more or less.
Jones, how did you get in?
The old-fashioned way, through the front door. Your guy let me in.
You know what, Jones? Nothing ever happened until you got here. No one was dead before you came along.
If I confess, will you feel better?
You are despicable.
Listen, something is out there. I'm not even sure what it is, but it is after us, collectively and individually.
Great. It's big, it's bad, it's mad, and it's out there looking for us.
How do you know that, Jones? Are you some kind of supernatural bounty hunter?
How do we know it isn't some kind of trick? Maybe he's just having us on.
Boy, it's no trick. 3 of us are dead.
This is stupid. You are all stupid. Just go away.
Take it easy, Cindy.
Someone killed Wills on Halloween night. 3 days later, in the same place, Georgie is dead. And Dorian's burned
What happened
alive.
to Dorian could have been an accident. It's not the same as what happened to Wills and Georgie.
It wasn't an accident. I know it wasn't.
How do you know that, Cindy?
When Dorian came back tonight, I was waiting. When he pulled into the garage, he was scared. When he ran off to the house, I looked at his car. There were deep gouges all down the sides. Wherever he had been, he drove away so fast he didn't care what he drove through, didn't care about the damage to his beloved BMW. He must have known something was after him.
Oh, my God.
That book, the one you gave me, Jones, it talks about something that happened in Point Harbor when it was a sailing port. Something that caused ships to sink, that haunted Cemetery Point. And not just out there, but the whole town.
What book? What are you talking about, Chair?
Quiet, Rick. Let her finish.
Jones?
Yeah, that's right.
And it got stopped. Somehow.
Yes, but I don't know how.
Something inhuman that got buried out there in the graveyard a long time ago?
Yeah, something dead and buried.
Until something woke it up.
We woke it up, didn't we, Jones? On Halloween night, we went to a party in a graveyard, and we woke the dead.
The fire had started to die out. Cindy's parents had come and gone. Cindy was staying with Jane that night. The cops had been there, too. Dorian had been in the garage. They'd found his body. The police were looking at a possible link between Georgie's death and Dorian's. Murder-suicide, they said. No one bothered to disagree. Now the little group sat still by the dying fire, listening as Chair finished reading aloud from the little book.
Was not buried aright. There is no peace for wronged blood. She was beautiful once. That's it. That's all there is.
So, whatever it is, has been around for a long time. They must have buried it out there on Cemetery Point, and maybe did something to make it stay put. Like how they bury vampires, with a stake through the heart.
And then they closed up the joint.
Until we came along.
We should tell the cops.
Right, Rick. What are we going to tell them? Oh, officer, there's a serial killer out there with superhuman powers.
Supernatural powers.
Look, we can't trust anyone. Not the cops, not our parents, not our friends.
Look around, Jones. We're all friends here.
We can't trust anyone. Think about what we just heard. Whatever it is, it has supernatural powers.
It can change shapes, remember? Power to mimic form and life and shadow.
Oh, come on, Chair. No way, get real.
Yeah, we have to do a little reality check here. I mean, something or someone is stalking us. Maybe it's some flipped wig weirdo we unwrapped when we did the graveyard party. Maybe. But an old book and a bunch of words are not what's real in all this.
Hope it turns into a babe. Beautiful, built blonde babe before it goes after me.
God, Rick, you are disgusting.
Why don't you believe me?
I don't know what to believe.
So what are we supposed to do while this alleged supernatural serial chopper is in town? What, travel in threes for the rest of our
I
lives?
don't even think traveling in threes would do it.
We're all gonna die? Is that what you're saying, Jones?
No, I am not going to die. I am going to fight. I will stop it. No!
Cindy ran wildly down the stairs, out the front door and along the long driveway. It was almost uncanny how fast she could run. The rest of them ran after her into the night.
Get back! Your car! Cindy took your car!
Baby, don't worry, we'll catch her.
There! This must be your taillights up ahead.
Yeah, that's her. Boy, look at her go.
There aren't any cops around when you need them.
Maybe they're still at the point.
So it's been hours since they found Georgie. Maybe they sealed off and all gone home.
She's not getting away from us, at least. Oops. She's turning. Hold on.
Nice seatbelt.
The Back Bay Road. She's going down the Back Bay Road.
To the point.
Let's hope the cops are still there. They won't be.
Oh, God. We're not going back out there. We don't have a choice. We've got to stop her.
I have a choice. I'm not going out there. You want to get out, Rick? Be my guest.
Yeah.
We're not stopping.
Crazy Dave, you know that? Like I'm going to hit the blacktop doing 90.
Then I'm afraid you're in for a long haul, pal. Yep. She's just turned down the road to Cemetery Point. Hold on.
The gate will be locked. She's got to stop for the gate, man. Yeah.
Don't count on it.
They'd slowed down a little now. The road was just as bumpy as it had been on Halloween night. The trees leaned in just as closely. Only the moon wasn't full. Cher was afraid. But this time, it wasn't a pleasurable fear. This time, it wasn't your basic Halloween apparition that was lurking in wait for them. This was real. This was death.
Look out! We're coming up to the gate.
Wow, look at that. She drove right through it. Nothing stops that girl. From the look of that gate, your cars are goner, Jonesy.
Well, maybe it should be, but it isn't. Look, there's her taillights ahead. What's that car made of, Jones?
Kryptonite. Don't you wish? Here's the clearing. There's your car, Jones. Boy, look at that front end.
There he is.